Hi, Paul Gorney from Luxury Living in Chicago, looking at everything you need to know about Chicago, Illinois, this great city. Born and raised here, will get you up to speed with a lot of things you really need to understand. So the biggest thing that people discover about Chicago is the weather. It's cold as heck, starting like in October through March, April even sometimes. So May through end of September, it's one of the best places to live in the world. People from all over the country, from other countries, obviously would move here, stay here, spend a lot of time here year round if it wasn't for the weather. So it kind of thins it out a little bit, but in the summertime, spring, summer, it's one of the best places you could be. So the second thing about Chicago you really need to understand is there's neighborhoods, 77 neighborhoods, over 200 sub-neighborhoods. Every mile or two, there's a new neighborhood, has a little different vibe, has different restaurants, different housing stock, different rental pricing. I mean, it can be gradual or it can be dramatic, depending on the neighborhoods we're talking about. So, as I said, born and raised here, 30 years, one of the top realtors in Chicago, representing a lot of our professional athletes, business leaders, and then just everyone from first-time buyers on up. So just call, text, email, no question too small. Just reach out anytime. So the neighborhoods of Chicago are pretty dramatic. So the ones closer to the lake are going to be more expensive, and then as you get further away from the lake, going to the west, they'll get to be a little less expensive. The way the market works in Chicago is everything just keeps pushing out away from the lake while the market is good, and the market's really good. So just keep pushing further and further. It's like a game of musical chairs though. At some point, and I've seen it over 30 years a few times, the market cycles, the market pulls back, prices go down, and then the people caught expanding westward sometimes can feel the brunt of it because people just pull back, aren't willing to go that far away from the lake anymore. Prices can nosedive, people can lose money. These things can happen sometimes, but it's just a cycle because the lake is on the east. You can't go out into the lake, obviously, so people are looking to expand always. So neighborhoods on the north side of the city, from downtown up north, are very desirable price-wise, very high prices, tons of restaurants, tons of things to do. You can bike, you can walk, you can take your dogs to the beach, walk along the lakefront, run along the lakefront. You know, it's all pretty great stuff. Dogs are plenty of dog beaches, by the way. So there's some serious university activity, DePaul University, Loyola University, Northwestern University, many others too, along the lakefront typically. So people, come here for school, a lot of professors, a lot of research at the hospitals and the universities with hospitals. Another thing to keep in mind about Chicago is you're going to have a lot of single-family homes, and then when you get close to the lakefront, you have high-rises. There's a lot of serious architecture in Chicago. There's a great architectural tour down the river in the summer. Chicago is really known for its architecture, and there's a lot of new luxury rental buildings and luxury condo buildings downtown. So these are beautiful. They took a big hit during COVID and some of the other things going on took a pretty substantial hit, but they're starting to come back, and this year should be a good uptick for many of the units in the high rises. The ones that are $1 million and up, those are a little bit trickier sometimes. They have high assessments, big price tag, and the market's still coming back. So kind of an opportunity for a little bit of a deal, but those will kind of help get some traction and it'll become a little bit more of a seller's market ultimately. But smaller condo buildings, single family homes, these are just flying off the market. Not enough inventory. New construction is just crushing it, absolutely selling, pre-market many times. Sold a few lately with one particular builder that does a great job in Lincoln Park. So these things are pretty fierce. Now, if you move out of the city, many times people will look at it for schools, especially. The schools in Chicago are kind of tricky sometimes. You have siblings going to different schools. You have schools that you have to test into, lottery system. I mean, people can be split up and it's kind of stressful. The suburban schools are easier. You know exactly where you're going to go. There's no testing, there's no lottery. Everyone goes to the same school. Typically, they're highly rated too. Very good schools in Illinois overall, and most of the school districts are very highly rated. So it's a pretty good experience overall. But hey, some people don't want to give up the city vibe. The neighborhoods are very cool. Lots of great restaurants, just a great feel to them. Most of the suburbs, more suburban feel, except for Evanston and Oak Park have kind of a urban suburban combo, which is pretty cool. The transportation in Chicago is excellent. It's kind of making a little bit of a comeback now. Kind of was on the shelf for a while with COVID, but great train system, great bus system, all along the lakefront, and then a great commuter rail that comes in from the suburbs. It's quick, clean, efficient, very predictable. So Chicago has a lot going on for it. The architecture is a huge draw. People are coming from China, Brazil recently. I've had a couple clients, and they just see it as a great opportunity to park some money, invest in a property or some pretty large homes sometimes. The luxury market in Chicago has overall been doing really well housing-wise. There's been a lot of big sales, just almost a $10 million sale in the northern suburbs, and then there was just a home sold for a little over $12 million in the city, and plenty of them between $3 and $5 million, quite active in that range. Smaller condo buildings still being built. A lot of great opportunities there. It's just the high rises that are kind of lagging behind. So in the neighborhoods of Chicago, you have a lot of differences in food. I mean, you got great pizza, you got great Italian beef, you got great hot dogs, hamburgers, all the basics that Chicago is known for. And some neighborhoods really specialize in Chinese food, Italian food, Mexican food. I mean, Chicago has so much good food. It's ridiculous. It's really known for that. And it gives the neighborhoods, an additional vibe with the restaurants or kind of a draw. And then some of the city restaurants with COVID and everything have been popping into the suburbs. So now people from the city are actually going to the suburbs to be in these newest restaurants, which is a little bit unusual and kind of happening more now than before. Chicago also, big time sports town. So the Bears won the Super Bowl in '85. That's a long time ago. Huge Bears town though. The Bulls are on a huge comeback trail. 6 NBA championships before Michael Jordan. And now that Chicago is really solidified with the Bulls, I mean, it's crazy. Even on the traveling games, I mean, there's so many Bulls fans because everybody remembers what happened before. So they're fired up. Chicago, sports, food, neighborhoods, lakefront, boating, biking, running, I mean, and then cold. So let's not forget about the cold. But we like to kind of not talk about it a lot. The city was built, to have tons of green space. So, you look at the lakefront from the parks, there's a band shell, there's sculptures, there's things to see all along the lakefront. I mean, it was all planned this way after the city burnt down in the late 1800s. That was the master plan, and it worked well. So if you go along the lakefront, you can bike, you can run, you can see the skyline. It is one heck of an amazing city. Again, you have any questions, it just starts with a text, email, phone call, whatever you need. As I said, I got a lot of resources and connections in the city and the suburbs as well, and can help with whatever you need. But Chicago, Illinois is a great place, and you should come check it out.